Good morning. This is Coach Potts, owner and founder of Hidden Gem Sports Scouting. I want to welcome everybody that's viewing this right now to this live one-on-one interview session with one of our clients, Chris Elliott. Chris is a running back. He plays college ball at Trinity International University. Chris, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you having me for sure.
Good, good. So, what's been going on this week, man? Talk to us. What you been up to?
This week is just pretty much normal. Getting my workouts in. And really just relaxing. I work from home, due to the pandemic, so I'm not really out there being exposed, which is important to me because family. Yeah, I'm young, but I'm more so concerned about them, so I'm happy about that. But it's my weeks are pretty standard as an athlete in a sense. Just workouts in the morning, then work, and that's it. Today's an off day for me, so I've just been relaxing. Got a little quick workout in, and just been chilling, relaxing.
Okay. So tell us about what you do work wise. You said you work from home. What company do you work for, and what do you do for them?
For sure. So I work for a company called Chewy. It's an online retail store for pretty much every pet care need you would need, from your horse down to a hamster. And when I originally got hired, I was one of their officer coordinators. But due to the virus, they had to send a lot of people home, so I transitioned to another team, which is pretty much customer service, um, and just handling all customer service needs. And being that I was, previously working with them, I have some of that experience. So the transition wasn't as bad.
Okay. Okay. So how are things for you transitioning from being in an office space to now being able to work from home and having that convenience? Talk to us a little bit about that.
You definitely save money, and I mean, I'm glad that my company is what it is because during the whole pandemic, a lot of people were losing their jobs, and I was fortunate not to have, because my mom was one of them that lost their job, and I was able to provide the support. But working from home isn't all what it's cracked up to be. At times you gotta have to get used to that, you know what I mean. Being home, you just want to relax all the time. You're in that mental state. This is my personal space. It's time to kick back. You want to leave work, at work, but now it's here with me. So sorry. Excuse me. You got to get used to that part, but other than that, it's fine. It's fine. I get to take my lunches and my breaks when I want to, instead of that scheduled, you know that scheduled time frame that they have for you. So I mean, it has its perks to it. It has its positive sides to it.
Well, that's good. That's good. I know, a lot of times working from home, you got to have a lot of discipline to be able to
Mm,
do the things you're supposed to do and not get
definitely,
caught up in relaxing and hanging out and thinking
definitely,
about other things too much. And so, well, let's move on. Let's talk about some football. All right, let's talk about
for
your
sure,
football journey. Tell
for
everybody
sure.
where you're from.
Mhm.
Let the coaches and scouts know, how tall you are, what do you weigh,
For sure,
where did you play your high school ball, where you play college, and then
for
we'll
sure,
kind of take it. We'll take it from there.
for sure. Well, my name is Chris Elliott. Well, Christopher Lawrence Elliott, but I prefer Chris or CE. Um, Born and raised in Miami, Florida. That's where I'm currently am now. Came back home after my adventures so far as playing professional goes. I played high school ball at Dade Christian, home of the Crusaders, one of the best high schools you'll ever know or ever face in the entire world. Um, I went on to play college ball for Trinity International University, um, and was a 4 year starter there. I actually redshirted, but ended up being a 4 year starter, and done some good things there. And then went on, was blessed, fortunate to join a group called Athletes in Action. After them, I was with them in Mexico for a little bit, and then that's what got me the opportunity to start getting overseas. And I was in Istanbul, Turkey for a little bit, and then came back to the spring league that they have here in the states, and now I'm still just looking for the next opportunity.
So let's talk a minute about Trinity International University now. For the coaches and scouts that maybe don't know or haven't seen this profile,
Hmm.
Chris, you were a two-time NCCAA second team All-American, NCCAA first team All-American. You were two-time All MSFA Midwest League first team offense,
Yeah.
two-time All MSFA Midwest League second team offense. You were a two-time NCCAA National Offensive Player of the Week, five-time MSFA Midwest League Offensive Player of the Week. You're the all-time leading rusher at Trinity International University. You also hold the career touchdown record at Trinity International University with
Yeah.
33 touchdowns. Talk to me a minute about all those accomplishments and what that means to you um, as an athlete to still hold records at your alma mater.
Um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I always live with the mindset I'm not done yet. I'm not looking to celebrate until it's over in a sense. Because the way I've kind of developed my chip on my shoulder my whole entire life. I put it like this to this analogy. You know how in like in PE, you pick your teams for your whatever sport it is. It could be dodgeball, whatever the case may be. They have the two captains, right? And they're
Yep.
picking their players and all that stuff like that. Let me get you. Let me get you. Let me get you. I've always felt like I've been those last two to three, to one player, that's left to be picked. You know what I mean? And
Yep. Yep.
I felt like it always boils down to let me get that guy, referring to me. Let me just get that guy. And I've always had a problem with that because everywhere I've been, you look at my track record from high school up into college, I've always outperformed all of my competitors. And there's a great competition out there. I would never take away from their abilities and what they can do, but I've always been able to get the edge on them. And that whole analogy is just like some things in my game I may not always pass that eye test, but I'm always going to perform and I'm always going to do well. So um those accomplishments, they're amazing. But it's just a test to like, you know, just the hard work, the determination I have um to just perform and be the best for my team first. Like I said, those awards are amazing, but I'm not done. So I mean, they're cool, and I would always, talk about it, but I'm not done. So it's whatever.
Well, let me ask you now, as a running back, it's
Mm.
kind of a known thing. Running backs typically do things to take care of their offensive line. What kind of things did you do to take care of your O line? Did you buy them dinner? Like, what kind of things did you do for them? Did you grill them
Man,
steaks on the weekend? Like, what'd you do?
I wish I had the funds to take them out to dinner or, steaks or anything like that. Unfortunately, I've never been able to, but let's say one day I get blessed, I might call them all up. Um, but I think the biggest thing with them, and I think they could attest to it, is I've never been a guy who's like, this is all me. You know what I mean? This is me. This is, I'm doing this. I made that play. I made that play. I always give credit where it's due because at the end of the day, I can't even begin to do even a percent of all those accomplishments and accolades that I couldn't do it without them in front, at least throwing their bodies in the way for those gruesome hours that they do it. So I mean, I think the biggest thing for them is just the gratitude that I give them every single time, the praise that I give them. Linemen never get the praise that they deserve. And I try to do it as best and as often as possible because again, um, yes, I can run the ball. I definitely can, but I can't do it without them. So I focused on that, letting them know like, listen, this was possible because of you. I literally have those accomplishments because of you, and it's been working for me so far.
That's all right, man. I just
Mm.
wanted to kind of mess with you a little bit because I know that's kind of a thing. Running backs taking care of
For
their O
sure, for
line.
sure, for sure, for
I
sure.
didn't think necessarily like anything crazy or drastic, but I just want to kind of pick at you a little bit about that. So,
Definitely.
how old are you now? You're what, 28? Am I correct?
28.
28.
28.
All right. You're
Mhm.
5'8". What are you weighing in at right now?
I'm last time I got on the scale, I would say I'm around 192. I know I'm not over 195. So in that 187 to 195 range, I for sure, but I think it's like around 192,
Okay.
93.
So, you know,
Mm.
you're undersized as a running back when it comes to your height, and you know that.
Mhm.
What do you what do you say to that as far as if knowing that and knowing that's how the scouts look at you, what is your response to that?
Response to being oversized. I mean, my response is give me that shot. You know, size has nothing to do with size. Actually helps me out. I feel like because of how usually how big my linemen are, I'm able to kind of hide myself a little bit. But I just ask for that shot. Every person that I have to show gratitude for to as far as coaches go, they decided to take a shot on me, and I made sure they didn't regret it in a sense, or I made sure they uh kind of like how every client here has their hidden gem. I make sure they understand that hey, you really got a hidden gem. Like I said, back to the analogy, everybody's like, all right, let me get him, and then I just prove my worth every single time. I don't let that bring me down or anything like that because I know my abilities. I am very capable of running the ball, so I just tell them just give me the shot. Just the person who gives me a shot, you won't regret it. It's pretty much simple and plain.
So in talking about that, let's talk about this. What are you doing right now, training wise
Mm,
to to get your body in the most prime shape possible
for sure.
for a possible opportunity coming up or a season coming up? What are you doing right now? Are you working on speed? Are you working on agility? Are you
Mm,
working on overall strength and conditioning? Like, what
mm.
is it that you're doing daily to take yourself to another level of preparation?
For sure. A focal point of mine is always my top end speed. If you ever turn on my game tape, you will see that I definitely hit the hole. I definitely have quickness to me, but I don't necessarily have the top end speed. As far as always breaking away from a defender. I'm one of a guy who I get those large chunks and I just take it piece by time. So in my training routines, speed is always a factor. Agility is always a factor because agility is just in my game. I'm able to make cuts. Obviously that a running back should make. But I make sure I always keep those arsenals in my package. But as far as my routine, I always alternate between 4 and 3 days a week. And I do that alter just so I can make sure I keep my body healthy and I'm not straining anything. So um for like the first two, for the first month, I'd probably go ahead and knock out those 4 a week. But as I'm moving on, 2, 3 months, then I'll start switching and only go three to give my body, my legs the rest that it needs to get to continue to perform at my top level that I possibly can. Because of gyms or because of COVID, I haven't necessarily been going to gyms, but I do work out with an organization called Bar Marinos. I've been there quite a bit with them, and they've taught me a lot as far as strength wise go and speed and my conditioning goes. So I apply a lot of the tools when I'm not there. I apply a lot of those tools in my workouts on a daily basis. As far as weights go, I'm more so focusing on resistant bands because again, I'm not necessarily comfortable going into gyms right now. I know that they're opening everything back up finally, but there was a point in time where everything was shut down. So really, I'm extremely confident in my conditioning right now. I'm extremely confident in uh, the win that it takes to do those 14 drives type of plays or whatever the case may be. But again, I do want to start finding a gym that maybe isn't as crowded to uh, build up that power that I also come with as a running back.
Yeah, exactly. So, what are you? Have you timed recently in the 40, or do you know kind of where you sit with that, or
I have not timed recently. The last time I had was a while ago, and that was before. Whew, I'm trying to think. That was around the spring league time when I did the spring league. That was around that time, and was 2020. That may have been at the beginning of 2019 or something there. So I wouldn't necessarily know. However, I do plan to either find a combine or something like that just to get updated numbers. Because I feel great. I
absolutely?
feel like I'm the most healthiest back you probably meet. I feel amazing. So I definitely want to find something of that nature and get some updated numbers as well.
Well, that's not a problem. I'm sure we can take care of that. But
Mm,
just wanted to ask, and see if you knew. So, continue with talking about the training and things. What things do you think as a player that Chris Elliott needs to work on to take his game to another level? Is it catching the ball out of the backfield? Is it being able to line up in the slot as a receiver?
mm,
Is it running with power, being able to run between the tackles? What
mm.
what is it that you feel that you need to work on right now?
My biggest thing, I will always say the speed aspect of it, just the speed, the breakaway speed of the game. But as far as focus positional points, nowadays running backs are more used out the backfield, catching the ball. And I'm
Right.
confident in those routes, the normal running back routes, the swings, the quick outs. But I'm talking about when you line the back out in the slot. Nowadays backs are basically slot receivers too as well. So me, I would say just the route running aspect of it. I'm more so a traditional running back. I definitely have the power. I have, again, that quickness. I have no problem being in the trenches between them tackles. That's my home. That's where I eat, so that's not an issue for me at all. That's my home. So I would say more so, excuse me, sorry, more so the kind of the receiver side of it nowadays, how running backs are
Yeah.
utilized. So
Okay. Okay. So you leave college.
mhm.
You had a chance. I believe you had some time with the Kansas City Phantoms and the
Yeah,
CIF.
yes.
Um, then you go on to Turkey and you play overseas. Um, how was that experience for the first time leaving the United States and playing American football in a foreign country? How was that for
uh,
you?
So in the beginning, nerve wracking. It's actually the other way around. I went overseas first and then came back, but to
Oh,
play
okay,
arena. Yeah, it's the
okay,
other way around. But
okay.
yeah, this is when I was fresh out of college, pretty much, and then had the opportunity to go overseas. It was nerve wracking for sure. But the moment I got there, and just to realize how welcoming and how amazing everybody over there in Istanbul, Turkey was. They're still friends to this day. It was a great experience. And for me, when I play this game, this is bigger than football. This platform that I have, I don't use it again to glorify myself. I use it really to spread the knowledge of the game and just, I mean, win, but just make long lasting impressions on people. And I think I got that 100%. Um, and like I said, I went there scared and worried, not really wanting to go, but I was like, I mean, I'm gonna go, I guess, to not really wanting to leave after I was there. You know what I mean? So it was an amazing time. I love that place. I call it my second home. If I ever get opportunity to go back, main want to go. Hello. The food, oh my goodness. I listen, I tell people all
Oh
the
yeah.
time, American food is terrible compared. And I came back when I came back home, I ate home cooked meals, but I didn't eat any fast foods or anything like that for about 3, 4 months. Couldn't do it because it was bad. It was bad. So after tasting that food over there, so they also leave impressions on you too as well. Those guys are just as passionate and have that fire to play football. And I tell a lot of them, I wouldn't necessarily say they would go D1, but there's a lot of them that could find homes in NAIA where I was D3, and then maybe some other leagues like that. So I mean, there's talented guys out there. So I enjoyed it.
I actually spent some time in the Marine Corps deployed to the Mediterranean Sea, and I had a chance to go to Turkey. I actually spent some time in Marmaris, Turkey. Believe me,
Yeah,
I know about
yeah,
the food. Okay? I know all about
yeah.
the food. Um,
Iskandar.
I,
Yep.
and I know I remember how they were. They're welcoming of American people.
100%. Yep.
Um, I can remember I was a young Marine. I was fresh out of boot camp, married,
Yep.
didn't have a lot of money to spend while I was there, and
Yep.
we go walking through town, and we go by this leather shop, And the
Mhm.
guy comes out. And he's like, "Oh, you come in. You come in. We make deal. We make deal with you." And we were like, "Okay." So we go
Yeah.
inside and they're showing us leather jackets and things, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and we are like, "How much?" And they told us, and I don't remember. It's I don't know, 100, maybe 175, something like that. We
Yeah.
were like, "Oh no, that's too expensive." And we walked
Yeah.
out, and we
Yeah.
started out the door, and he was like, "Oh no, you come back, you come back. I make deal." And so they wanted to make a deal with you. Uh,
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, so how much?" And he said, he dropped out. I don't know, it was like 125. I was like, "Oh no, that's too expensive." And we're looking at this
Yeah.
lambskin leather jacket, and they take the
Yeah.
cigarette lighter, and they're like, "Oh, real
Real.
leather," and they
Yeah.
they show you that it won't burn.
Yep. Yep.
And so we walk out again. We're like, "No, we appreciate it, thank you," and we walk out. And we weren't mean or anything. We're just
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
haggling with him. And he come back out. He chased us down a third time. We were probably, I don't know, about 15 yards down from the store. He was like,
Yeah.
"You guys come back. You come back. I make deal." And so we go back in. I said, "Okay, how much?" And he said, $50. Or no, he said 75 American dollars. I said, "I have 50 and that's it." And he said, "Okay, 50." So I bought my first wife a black leather lambskin jacket in
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that place. I spent
It's
time
amazing.
in Turkey, Greece,
Mm.
Spain,
Mhm.
Portugal, Haifa, Israel,
Mhm.
Jerusalem. I got a chance to go to pretty much a lot of the places, Italy, the island of Malta.
Yeah.
I got to really kind of go all over the Mediterranean Sea area, and so it's a beautiful
It's
place to
amazing. It's
see.
amazing. Yeah.
Amazing food,
Mhm.
and most everywhere we went, they were very welcoming of American people. So,
Yep.
um, I definitely know what you're talking about there.
For sure. Yep.
So, you know, we can't really talk necessarily about the team name at this moment, but looks like you might have a chance to go back overseas,
Mhm.
potentially in Germany.
Mhm.
Um, what are your thoughts about that? Knowing that you may have a chance to return to that area and
Yeah.
play professionally again.
The response is a lot quicker than the first time for sure. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? These moments are priceless. You don't necessarily get the financial side behind it, but you the trade off is the connections you make, the amazing sceneries that you will probably never see ever again, or half the members in your family has never seen and will never see. So it's priceless in that comparison. So like I said, it's a quicker answer without hesitation this time. I'm excited and everything falls into place. I'm there. So
Okay, all right. So once you're done with that, you're
mhm.
going to be 28, going on, probably 29. You're
Yep,
pushing on into
pretty soon,
30.
December 11th. Yeah.
Pushing on into that big 3-0, that big
Yeah.
3-0. What are your goals from there? Talk to me about that. What are your football goals? What are your personal goals? What are your professional goals?
Hmm.
Kind of talk to us about that.
So football, I think I always want to be a part of this game. Even uh, though I will not be able to play it, you know, I understand that as hard as it is to swallow that pill. But going to get my master's in sports administration. I want to do that. I kind of regret taking as long of a pause from school as I have, because you kind of, after going through 4 years of college, being a college athlete, you're like, man, listen, get my degree, that's it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I kind of wish I didn't take too much of a break there, but it is what it is, and I plan to do that. But I want to work with athletes. Period. I think that is my calling. The same people who mentored me, who brought into me, who invested in me to get me to where I am, to do the things that I've done. Like I literally could not have done it without them, and it's something that I know for a fact that I can pay forward in a special way, in my own way, and hopefully have an athlete in this same in my shoes one day, speaking of all their great accomplishments, and kind of give me that shout out as far as willing to invest, because a lot of these people didn't have to, and I'm talking about deep investments. I'm not talking about some just pats on the back, you got it, go Chris. But there's some deep investments there that really has got me these accomplishments. Every accomplishment that you read off that paper, literally it was not me, it was not me alone. Big shout out to my mother, obviously. um a amazing woman raising two boys, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
there's people that invested in me, and I realize that, I understand that, listen, I'm not that all-time leading rusher, I'm not all those records. And again, like I say, um those people are guys who help me keep my head up, in a sense, because there's tons of times where I'm overlooked because of the eye test, but it doesn't bother me. But just have those people in your corner pocket uplifting you, and really just telling you, all right, well, so what are you going to do about it, as far as the situation that you're in? How do we overcome it? What are steps? And them guiding me, telling me kind of experiences that they had, or whatever the case may be, and allow me to kind of decompress what's in my head, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you can't do the things I can't uh do the things I've done without people like them. So that's sparked a passion of mine of um, maybe coaching, maybe recruiting, my kind of joining everything that Hidden Gems does, something like that. I see myself doing it. I don't see it as a job, and they say find something that you don't consider work. So that's kind of where I'm headed in my journey beyond football.
We definitely got a place for you here at Hidden Gems. I already
Hmm.
told you that.
For
So
sure.
whenever you get to that point and you want to look at a transition, you've always got a home here with us. So don't worry about that.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Um, so let's kind of change gears a little bit. Um, as you've been an athlete, and you play college ball now, and
Mm-hmm.
you've played some professional ball. Um, what does it mean for you as an athlete to be able to give back to the community? And also with that, are there like particular causes or campaigns or
Mm-hmm.
different types of community service related projects that are maybe more uh, I don't know, not really to say interesting, but um, I don't know, maybe more near and dear to you, I guess, maybe, or something that you
Mm-hmm.
particularly kind of gravitate to, that you would want to be involved in or to be
Sure.
part of.
Um, and most recent, especially before COVID really hit the world as much as it did, my mom is a teacher, and she works at a school. It's a private school where a lot of the kids, the boys, are in those situations, sort of like me. Dad's not there, or some type of situation where kind of it's them against the world, in a sense. If I could kind of sum up just every thing that young guys, or not even just guys, but young women go through. And it's for sure voluntary work. I don't get paid or anything for it, but I do enjoy going there and kind of speaking to the guys about just life, being having another male, because that school has predominantly female teachers in it, because again, it's a little private school, whatever the case may be. But that's something that I really hold near and dear, being able to, again, just looking at that kid, looking at that young one, saying like, listen, just because you're in your situation that you're in doesn't define who you are. You're just as much as a champion as I am. And like, it's pretty cool how they look at you, and they're deep invested in. It's kind of crazy because I could always remember, sitting in that same seat. Because I also went to a private school, and my private schools, kids had a lot of money that obviously I didn't have, in a sense. So I've sit there sometimes, feel a little bit left out, but what saved me is I could play football extremely well. You know, But I would sit there and the speaker would come up and he's just telling his life story, or just dropping gems in there that resonated with me deep and heavily. And it just came to realize, and I could see it in the face how, like, not every kid in there possibly was listening, but I know there was one person in there at least that was like in awe of the message and just all that I'm there, sharing my stories, my experiences, and letting them know, like, man, listen, you're literally a champion just as much as I am. Everything that I've done, you have just as much as the capability to do it. There's nobody saying you can't do it besides yourself. You know what I mean? So that's big to me. But in college as well, there's quite a bit projects that we were introduced to playing. So one of them was Feed My Starving Children. That was pretty cool. We would pack a ton of meals for, like, I forget the countries, but I think Indonesia. It was quite a bit of countries, and we'd have these like packing competitions, and pretty much the team that packs the most food kind of win it. But like it's amazing how, like, within maybe 2 hours you're packed enough meals for to feed almost, I think, around 5,000 people, something like that. It's insane. But you're literally having fun doing it in a sense. So
Right.
that's another project that I kind of wish I still could be a part of. It was up there in Illinois. I'm pretty sure there's some down here, but I need to do my homework for sure. And then the last one that literally has, I guess, struck a chord in me is we were also introduced to how bad sex trafficking is in the world.
Yeah.
And our team um, partnered with another group. I forget their name as well, but they would do a bunch of things to kind of help a lot of women in India. And so if I could rewind time, I definitely would actually make the trips. They had opportunities to go do trips over in Indonesia and uh kind of help build houses, for the women and just people who need it. It's just a bunch of things that they were able to do. And again, me being a little scary pants, I've always attached to my mom's hip. You know what I mean? I have no problem saying that. So um if I could return back time, I definitely would, because once I maturing and growing up and taking that kind of step forward
Yeah.
as far as going overseas, because I independent, as far as going over, tell you, like, the first time I went over there, it was so hard to say yes to them. And I was, I mean, I do want to play football, but do I really want to play football? You know what I mean? It was had nothing to do with the country. It's just me. It was hard for me to go from Miami, Florida to Illinois. So now you're telling me to go to a whole new world. Oh, so if I could rewind time, I definitely would get more involved. I would have gotten more involved in that. Especially now,
Okay.
the growth that I've gotten from it all. That's what it's about.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, that's commendable, and that's a big thing with athletes. Being able to remember where they came from and giving back to their community, or giving back to a community. Period. Regardless of whether it's here or overseas,
Mm,
there's not enough of that
for
going
sure.
on in the world today. So I commend you for that, and I'm sure you'll have a chance to get back involved with some of those things again. Um, Real quick, um, what does it mean to you for what does it mean to you as far as how your teammates, the coaches, the organization, the community that you're a part of and playing in, how important it is how important is it to you what they think about you?
um I have this saying, everywhere I go, my face is clean. And that just means when I show up, you're gonna get someone who's always gonna do what they're supposed to do. I always say I'm well groomed. I'm not here to mess around as far as anything that doesn't align with um the team's goals, the organization mission. I'm not here for anything beyond that. You know what I mean? Second thing is like consistency. I'm always gonna be and do I'm gonna be there on time. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do every single time without fail. I'm gonna show up, be one of the first ones there, and most likely be one of the last ones. So I'm always consistent in my work ethic. You're never gonna have to worry about a fall off or a day I come in like I'm not really feeling it. And especially when it comes overseas, because I have this vision, and quote me on this because it's gonna happen. I have this vision that one day there's gonna be football in Olympics, right? And I want to bring the best version of everything that I know to them to help them get to that point, where teams are having, Olympics, U.S. against China or whoever the case may be, or a lot of our D1 colleges here are playing their D1 schools and all that good stuff like that. So, um, like I said, we have a platform and almost a responsibility to carry that torch and carry it well, because they already they look up to us extremely, as far as the ability to even just simple as run as fast as we do or whatever the case may be. So it's a responsibility there, and I'm like I said, that team first mentality. Yes, I know my ability, my capability, but it doesn't matter if we're not all in one accord. You know what I mean? So it brings me more accomplishment, and I would talk more on the aspect of look what we did as a team as opposed to look what I did.
Yeah.
And then last thing is just determined. I'm determined to be the absolute best that I possibly can be, no matter what. Because like I said, I kind of have that chip on my shoulder. Like everybody's like, well, let me get that guy, whatever. So I'm I'm determined to just be the absolute best that I possibly can be. Um, and the last one I would say that I want them, or yeah, I want them to know about me is just be durable. I'm extremely durable. I've probably the healthiest back you probably know. I promise you. So um yeah, it's important what they think about me, but those are things that I show instead of more so I'm this guy that does this, I'm this guy that is, I definitely walk the walk for sure, or walk the talk, however you said. So yeah, so that's yeah, it's important.
Well, we're running up against time here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you the floor here.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a coach, a scout, a general manager, a player personnel director that's watching, we talked about the fact that you already understand you're an undersized back, but you've got a lot of credentials, you've got a lot of great attributes, skills, and abilities. One last time, give your sales pitch. What is it that you want them to know about Chris Elliott as a person, as a running back, as a potential prospect to be signed to a team?
For sure.
Go ahead.
Um, yeah, for sure. For me, like I said, I'm gonna always show up. I'm always gonna be uh everything and more that you want in a running back and as a player, as a team first guy. I'm not here to basically I'm not here for what I can get out of you. It's more so a service. Like how can I help service this team, provide for this team? All those attributes and everything else, they come, it's just a bonus to me. I feel that I am the best man for the job, and I always use this analogy too, that I could fumble the ball 100 times and still believe I'm the best guy for the job in a sense. And I kind of carry that mentality. Um, just my work ethic, knowing that there's competition out there every single day that is trying to basically take my position, take my job, whatever the case may be. I just want them to understand that like you give me that opportunity, you bet on me as I've been betting on myself. You bet on me. It's a decision that you won't regret as far as what I do on the field or even off the field. I will always represent you well. And again, you won't find another running back that's more hungrier to perform at the top level at the best that he possibly can. You just won't find it. It's just who I am. And like I said, if you need to do any other research, you'll find everywhere I've been. It's been successful for me because of those type of attributes that I carry with myself. So, like I say, you're more than welcome to do all that research. But I'm a clean cut guy. All my profiles, you won't find no nonsense on it. Like I said, I was raised extremely well. My mom did not put up with that. It's always yes sir, no sir. I'm always going to approach you or coaches as a gentleman with 100% respect. So you're just getting I feel you're getting a top tier athlete who is more so on the old school side. Those players that, again, they're not about the nonsense. They're going to show up. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to always put team first. And then again, just represent your organization as best as they possibly can. So if I could just sum it all up, that's what I would say.
There you go. Couple seconds here, real quick. Who you watching today, college football wise?
I don't necessarily watch a lot of college football, weirdly enough. I just throw on a random game. So
What?
and if I was to say, yeah, for sure. But I'm liking what excuse me, I'm liking what my Gators been doing lately. I am a Gators fan. But I don't watch a ton of college football. Uh
You see
and
that? You,
it's weird.
you see
It's
it right
weird. Yeah, we're not worried about those guys. But I like college football, but I don't watch a ton of it. Oddly, I don't know why. I just don't. I just throw on a random game. Literally, I can watch anybody. So it's not a huge. I don't have a big necessary team for that, but I am a Colts fan. So hopefully they get a win this week. Because geez, last week was terrible.
here.
But
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, listen, Chris, we're about out of time, man. I appreciate you coming on and taking time to speak with us. I really think coaches and scouts and the GMs and people
Mhm.
will really get some good insight as to who you are. For anybody, scout, coach, general manager, player personnel director out there watching, Chris's profile is available on our website at www.hgsportscouting.com. That address is down at the bottom there as it's scrolling across your screen. We can also email that to you upon request. Chris, again, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your weekend. And I'll be in touch with you here soon.
Definitely. Just thank you for everything that you do for us as athletes. Hitting gyms is where it's at. Literally. So I appreciate you, and I could talk more on that too, but obviously I know we run out of time there. But I just want to thank you for putting yourself out in front of your brand and backing up everything you're saying as well. So I appreciate that.
That's what we're here for, man. And I promise you, we're going to do everything we can to make sure your career keeps rolling on.
For
And
sure.
hopefully soon we'll get the green light to go ahead and make an announcement. Maybe we'll come back on at that time
Mm,
uh, and do another little live deal here and let you
definitely.
make your announcement official that way.
Definitely. That'd be dope. So thank you.
All right.
All
Listen,
right.
have a good afternoon. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All righty. You as well. Yep.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care.